Today I flew a B24 and a B25. I flew the B24 at low altitude. Right here I'm showing you the patches I bought for the airplanes. That's the 332nd patch, which is the, if you didn't know, that's the Tuskegee Airmen unit. If you watch the movie Red Tails, it would say in there. It's the black fighter pilots. So they were segregated from the white white fighter pilots in World War II. They were segregated until after the war, from what I know about it. But they were a really good fighting force. It's my B24. But I'm here showing you here is I'm showing you all the planes I customized earlier. If I had a PC, I'd probably use some custom. And then what I was showing you earlier, that was a patch I bought for the Israeli tanks. You can put on them. It looks kind of cool. I don't really have a whole lot of the Israeli tanks researched a whole lot. This is this Operation Sicily. If I had to guess, they're probably trying to do something like Operation Husky, which was in Sicily. I don't remember what month that was. I know that was in 43, if I had to guess. It's a B-24 Liberator. I wish they had the B-24H. Yeah, it's got a gunner. It's got a gunner in the nose. It has a turret. Not like this. It's totally different. That'd be pretty cool because the gunner in this one doesn't do anything in the nose. It's just for looks, from what I noticed. But the gunner in this one, I've got a pretty good crew on it. It's a hell of an airplane. I didn't even take a bullet on this one. Nobody even shot at me. You can see we're flying to the target designated grid square. When you're flying these, you kind of don't really want to fly in the cockpit, especially on these big bombers. But for the airplanes, for the regular airplanes like the single engine planes, you want to fly in the cockpit. That's how you want to learn how to fly. This is the first video I've done talking with the bombers, just the fighter pilot, with the fighter planes, the bombers, especially that I'm gonna start doing that. But when you fly them, you kind of, with the bombers, you want to kind of look around, make sure no one's up behind you, because you can get really shot out of the sky pretty easily. And if you get shot out of the sky, you kind of lose it's an expensive repair cost. It's really expensive to repair. Plus, it's kind of sucks for the team because it's just that it's such a valuable asset. You got so many bombs. This has 12 bombs. What I have in there is 12 500-pound bombs. It's pretty heavy duty, and it'll really do some damage. What I'm doing out here, I'm trying to get to low altitude because you're up real high. That's where all the fighter planes are at. And what I've learned is they're bound to shoot you down, and the gunners aren't the most smartest in the video game. Now, if this is real life, they would be pretty smart, I would think, hopefully, but I'm not speculating. But see, what you want to do is you want to just fly straight and level. This in real life, I've seen a B-24 in real life. They're bigger than hell, but they wouldn't be able to probably maneuver like that, I would think. There's no way you'd be able to turn it like that. You'd have to just fly straight and level, and you wouldn't be able to. I think you just have to be able to fly over the target, drop all your bombs. What they would do is find a combat box at like 10 of them, and they would find like a combat box, like 10 of them, and they would all fly over one target and just blow the hell out of it. I mean, drop 10, 20, all the bombs on it, and they would annihilate it. They would do that all over Europe, Pacific, so Italy, all over, with every bomber you can think of. They wouldn't just send one bomb right, because if you did that, it would get shot down. But this is how you drop the bomb. This is the bomb site. And if you do this, you got to cut the power and then turn, because they have a high tear wing rate, I call it. So the B-17 is the worst at that. It'll really tear the wings off. It'll really tear the wings off, because the B-17 G60VE, when you turn with that, you have to be real careful you don't tear the wings off. It's really bound to get, and it's the same thing with the guns and the nose of that. In real life, I think they would shoot, but in the video, in War Thunder, they will not shoot for some reason. It's kind of weird, I think. I don't know why it's like that, but it's kind of ridiculous to some degree. The PBJ, what is it, the PB4Y2? I mean, that plane is pretty good. It has a gunner in the nose, and it works beautifully for shooting down planes. The gunner's pretty accurate. It works pretty good. I've shot down a couple. Just the AI system that it has, it works pretty good. See what I'm doing here? I'm trying to look around, make sure no one's chasing me. Because all they got to do is shoot off the tails, and then you're done. You're spinning a circle, and then you're toast. You just got to bail out, and you're captured. I think it looks pretty cool. That Adolph's Assassin, that's a tank insignia. It's not a Air Force, Army Air Corps insignia. I was surprised. Yeah, but it's a pretty good airplane. There's no way, I don't think you could turn it like that. I don't know a whole lot about turning these big bombers. Let's see, we're kind of off target a little bit. If you drop it a little bit just a little bit off, you can do some damage to the target. We got about 5-7 bombs, something like that. It'll really do some damage though. Dropped a whole bunch of them. Look at that. Flying back, looks like. Yeah, see how I have the throttle down and then I'm turning. That's how you want to do it. You can do that with, here we go. Boom. Look at the shock it gives on the earth. Wow. See, this is how you turn a big bomber. Wow. How much damage that did. Jesus. Quite a bomber. They were pretty dangerous. They were bound to catch fire. It's just like any bomber, because they keep the fuel in the wings. That's what, if you want to shoot a bomber down, if you want to be mean to them, shoot the ball turret gunner a whole bunch up, and that'll knock them sideways. That's what they would do there. And the Germans, what they would all over the Japanese, but maybe even the Italians, I don't know, but they would they would aim for the ball turret gunner, and that would do the most. They would aim for the ball turret gunner, and that would really do some damage. The ball turret gunner is right underneath the plane. That's the ball turret gunner, and in the back, that's a tail gunner. On top, I think that's I call that the top gunner, but the tail gunner is a pretty dangerous spot to be, because that's the first line of defense if anybody comes. And then those are called door gunners. They're gunners on the sides. Pretty important job. Yeah. Flying back to the airfield here. Nobody even shot at me. Pretty amazing. It looks like there's a plane smoke in there. This plane is, I've seen one before at an air show where I flew in it. I've also flown on a B-17. You would not believe how loud a B-17 is. They're got to be one of the loudest airplanes I've ever read. It's probably louder airplanes, but I thought that was pretty. I rode on a T6 Texan. You don't realize how big something like that is till you get inside of it. Imagine what it'd be like in real life dive bombing with something like a Helldiver or like a Dauntless. It would be something, especially if they're shooting at you. That's the airfield up there. I don't know how. I think right over the airfield looks like. Oh. No, it's over there. When you're flying this, you kind of want to make sure no one's tailing you. I can't say that enough. Make sure no one's tailing you, because you will get shot down. Because you do not have fighter escort, which no one seems to care about the bombers. It seems like the bombers are your main way of bombing the enemy bases. Yeah, you're bound to get shot down because your fuel was so flammable. Pretty obvious. I'm trying to 90. Wow. Pretty good. See what we got for winnings. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Right now I'm researching the F3H Demon. It looks like a pretty good looking jet. It's a carrier plane used in Vietnam. I honestly just like to carry bombs or rockets. I don't like the dogfight. It's just so hard. I've tried shooting down a Ju-88 with a firebrand yesterday, and it was awfully hard. Awfully hard. I overheated the engine and then I ran into a building. This was on the Bastogne map, and then I got shot down. They're quite the airplane, the Ju-88s. I like the Ju-88Cs because they have a great payload. They're awful fast. And they have dive brakes and they have everything. They have great reference. This is the B25. We're in China. I don't know. I think this is a Zhengzhou map. I'm not for sure. I think this is a Zhengzhou map. This might just be China. I just call it the Chinese map. I just call it that. So this is the B25. I always go with the regular, the brown camouflage, but this one I went with the silver camouflage. You'll see in a sec. I went with the 332nd Fighter Group camouflage, which is kind of goofy because the pilots are all white and they're not black guys. I also went with a name for the plane that's kind of looks alright, but I wish they had the regular B-25s, the ones that didn't have the machine guns on the sides, which I can see why they have the ones with the machine guns, because you could also strafe ground targets. It makes a lot of sense, I think. And you can also protect yourself a lot better if you have the machine gun. Like it has, I think, 450 cals. I think it's 450 cals. It has 2,000 rounds. It's a great airplane. The Doolittle Raiders used it and to bomb Japan. April 17th, I think, 42. Took it from the U.S., which I think what carrier it was. I don't remember what the carrier was. All those guys that on the Doolittle raid died. The last one died, I think, 2020 or something like that. Yeah. What happened here is I was going a little too fast and just kind of diving. I wasn't really flying straight level because you cannot dive a bomber unless it has dive brakes. No way. That's the bomb site. And you also got to see I didn't land it very good, because when you're landing any plane, you got to fly it all the way down. A lot of people, they just flop down. If you land in a bomber, you got to fly it all the way down. You cannot just cut the power, which I screwed up and I cut the power, which is fine. It didn't kill nobody. At least I got to the airfield. At least I landed, I guess. It's hard to land those big, huge bombers, though. I tell you what, they're hard to land. That's three 1,000-pound bombs. Wow. Yeah, the B-25 doesn't have the biggest payload, but it has a pretty good payload, I think. Yeah, destroyed the base. Wow. Now we're flying back to rearm and refuel. I think there's something wrong with the B-26's, what do you call it? The yoke. The yoke doesn't have a column to steer with. It just has a yoke. I don't know what the deal is, but it looks kind of goofy. I like the B-26. It has a pretty good payload. It has one of the best payloads in the game. In real life, it was one of the best planes. But B-26 had problems with it, like the propellers would fly off. Imagine, it would cut your head off if you did. Wow. Okay, high. I think we're about 6,000 feet, if I had to guess. That's not very high. But if you want to be real accurate bombing, especially in real life, you want to fly about 5,000 feet. That's how Curtis LeMay and them, after they took Saipan, Guam, and Tinian, they flew the B-29s over Tokyo with napalm incendiaries, and they bombed the hell out of it, and it really did some damage. It destroyed the whole city, did a lot of damage, and it destroyed a lot of the plants they were using to make the planes. It was quite a bomber, B25. B29. I've flown a B29 in here. I don't like it. It's too big. Too big. They're just too big. But this is a good airplane, I think. Well, I really like this silver camouflage. Looks okay.
Attacking.
Now we're flying back to the airfield. I think it'd be cool if you could take these off a carrier and try to take them off and land them. Well, nowadays on a carrier you could take these off and land them. Back in those days in World War II, you couldn't. The carriers weren't big enough. You could take off. Well, let's see, the F-7F Tiger Cat. You could. That's. I don't know exactly if that's more of a close air support deal, but that's not really a bomber. You can put bombs on it, but that's not as big as a B-25. I don't think. It's big. I've read about that one, and they've used that in Korea. It was developed later in the war, and they weren't able to use it. So when you want to land, you want to fly it all the way. See, I've cut the power, and it's at 1% the power. And I think it'd be cool if we could see the Soviet airplanes. Some of them you can see the sticks move, which is kind of cool, I think. But this one you don't see the sticks move at all. I wish you did see them move. There's a red button. I think that means the gear's down. So we're kind of coming in a little too fast. It says the gears a little could rip off any second. So how fast are we going? We're going about 200. It's too fast. See, I wasn't. You got to line up on the airfield, which you got to do. But I screwed up pretty much. But I didn't die. But I'm still here, I guess. But it's not. It's just a video game. But some people take it too seriously. Look, you got plenty of runway, and then let's see. So you're kind of flopping around. Jesus, terrible landing. The commanding officer would be pretty mad at that, I would think. Well, that's pretty bad. Terrible landing. I'm surprised I didn't blow up there. Jesus, that's just terrible. The wings are damaged. God. The plane's ruined. Wow. Terrible. Pretty bad landing. So now we're waiting for it to get repaired. Should have probably looked at all the damage that was done to it. I would take it off. I think I was on the runway a little too long taking off, which it's kind of hard on the airplane. It's not really. It's made to go. It's more of a bomber. It's not really made to just go straight level. But planes, you have to fly straight level no matter what. But depends on if it's a fighter or a bomber, heavy bomber. Look at that! Look at that! Look how fast it took off. Well, it's all pretty good. Wow. Now we're going to the next bombing target. Looks like we're supporting the. Looks like, if I had to guess, we're fighting in Southeast Asia, part of the war in Burma and China, stuff like that. Looks like we're part of the Army Air Corps. I guess historically, I think that's what we're doing. So we're flying to the next target. Surprised 3 bombs took out a base, because usually that doesn't take out a base, from what I've noticed. Must be all about where you place them at. Going to that one straight up ahead, coming in like a bat out of hell. to get there. We're kind of low. We could get hit by flak or an anti-air fire. Kind of worried about that.
Let's keep the pressure on. Victory
Just realized
is
that.
close.
Coming in about 220 mile an hour, it looks like. Haven't really been outside the plane very much, looking around, but this is how you want to fly. Any airplane that you want to learn how to fly, you got to fly from the cockpit. If you're flying out, no, I haven't seen any YouTubers that just fly in the cockpit at all. Never. All of them just fly inside the plane. Kind of ridiculous. I always just fly inside the plane most of the time. If it's like a big bomber, yeah, I'll fly outside of it because I want to make sure no one's tailing me. Because sometimes AI gunners don't know what they're doing. They don't know when to start shooting. And we just took a hit. It looks like it might have killed the gunner right in the nose. Wow. Yeah. And we're taking fire from an anti-air battery. Taking fire from the anti-air battery. Wow. Flak just went up. I didn't know the Japanese had flak batteries. Must have got it from the Germans. Coming in pretty fast. Didn't even flinch, it looked like. Didn't even look over to see what we were dealing with. Wonder if you put a helmet on to see if there's, because usually they put a helmet on when there's flight going by. Coming in about 228, 230. Coming in hot. Open up the bomb bay is open. And not very high up. It's kind of scary. Might blow us out of the sky. Boom.
A little more effort and victory will be ours.
And we just took some damage to the plane. And it looks like we're going to be buried in memorial in what's it called? Arlington Cemetery, because of our brave heroism today. Wow. Isn't gonna go too well. Yeah, we're done. I should say I'm not dead. Looks like we're gonna be buried in what's it called? Arlington National Cemetery. Thanks for watching.